Astute urban planning has shaped Singapore's physical landscape over the years. However, good design is no longer the only consideration architects need to make. With the challenge of climate change, building design needed an appropriate response. Green architecture soon became a priority in the typology of public housing too.
Punggol Eco Town. Punggol would be our sustainable waterfront town, and it has many new concepts for sustainable development.
Architect Alan Tan wanted Tree Lodge in Punggol New Town to set the standard for future precincts to come.
With this green agenda, that's a key focus worldwide. We're looking into how we can design more green buildings. And ultimately, our aim is to position Punggol as the first eco-town in Singapore, whereby we can test bed and incorporate various urban green solutions into the precinct as well as on the estates level.
Tree Lodge at Punggol, like the rest of the new town, in many ways goes back to basics, albeit with a technological twist. The precinct is smaller and more intimate with common green spaces. Its premise, to harness elements of nature such as wind, daylight, rainfall, and greenery whenever possible.
All this while, HDB has been capitalizing on passive design strategies in our housing design. For example, we always orientate our building to face the north-south direction. But for Tree Lodge, we actually conduct this fluid dynamic analysis test. How this works is that we try to capitalize on the wind flow passing through the precinct. The prevailing wind directions coming from the north and northeast direction. So we tilt our building slightly towards the northeast direction to fully optimize the wind flow coming through the precinct.
Foremost in the design of Tree Lodge is the Eco Deck, made by lowering the car park and driveway. The ground level is then made available for greenery.
You're looking at design that went on to extend and stretch and explore the boundary of sustainability. And this car park actually is on grade with the road. With that, you do not need to rely on mechanical system totally. It's totally naturally ventilated, relying on natural lighting and also natural flow of water. And with this landscape deck concept, we are able to put the green on the upper deck. The lower level we free up for other services, for refuse collection, for firefighting, and for car parking and servicing.
Once the bottom line was green, Alan set his sights on the top line. To reduce the sensation of heat, the roof too was made green. Green roofs have been found to reduce surface temperatures by as much as 15 degrees Celsius and room temperatures by about 2 degrees Celsius. For Alan and his team, green design alone doesn't go far enough. It needs to have buy-in from people. For that, design needed to mix eco-friendliness and leisure. Their concept, to extend a small river into a waterway, where the waterway serves both as a catchment area and a leisure park for everyone to enjoy. In Punggol, this came in the form of the 4.2-kilometer long Punggol Waterway, which meanders through the entire new town. Residents welcome it for the new vibrancy the waterway has brought to the neighborhood and for the recreational and educational activities it's introduced. While town gardens have always been available, it's the first time that waterfront living is brought to the heartlands. These new towns are set to become a mainstay of Singapore's public housing landscape, guided by HDB's roadmap for better living.
This roadmap will guide the professional part of our work for the next 5 to 10 years. It aims to develop towns in 3 ways. Number 1, well-designed towns. Number 2, sustainable towns. And number 3, community-centric towns. By well-designed towns, we mean that HDB will focus more on good design. Now, good design means to develop better urban design plans and master plans for our towns where they can be more distinctive. All right, and we will look at each town, looking at its existing features and the history of the town, and latch on these to create more distinctive towns. We will do good urban design, whereby we will make the living environment a good one, even as the towns have to become more dense because we have a growing population. We will pay a lot more attention to the way we design the buildings and the interior of the flats to make it more livable. And at the same time, we want to create better public spaces, because towns are about people. They are not about the brick and mortar. And if we create better public spaces, it means that people can mingle, and it is a much more socially vibrant town. So design can do wonders for new towns for us.
Architecture that pulsates to the beat of a fast-changing city. New forms for the age-old function of providing homes for the public. These social housing projects start new threads and raise new ground for the way public houses are to be built in Singapore and perhaps the world.